guys, welcome back to Makeup and Hustle. My name is Vidhi and thank you so much for tuning in. In today's video, we are creating this look using the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. The color story in this palette is so up my alley. It is absolutely beautiful. It's full of warm tones and I am just in love with this palette. If you are interested in learning how I created this look, then please stay tuned. If you find such videos helpful or interesting or enjoyable, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and also don't forget to like this video. It just helps me gain a bit more insight into what you are interested in watching, and helps me create these looks as well. I'm actually very happy with this look, so please stay tuned and let's get on with the video. Starting out with the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot, I'm just taking a brush and applying that all over my eyelids and also taking that up to my brow bone. I'm also going to be using the warmth of my fingers to sort of melt that into my skin, because this has dried out a little bit, so I feel like the warmth of my fingers just sort of makes it look more seamless on application. So just making sure to blend that and take it up to my brow bone. And then going in with the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. You can see the smile on my face by using this palette. I just love it. It is one of my first palettes from Natasha Denona, so I'm, safe to say it's not going to be the last one. It's going to be very heavy on my bank account. But anyways, just taking that first shadow, and I'll have all the shadow names listed down below, so please be sure to check that out. I'm just using a big fluffy brush. This is like the Clinique shader brush. And I'm just placing that on my eyelids and also taking it up to my brow bone, and just diffusing that color all over. And then taking that deeper shade and then placing that in the outer corners and making sure to take it around my crease as well. I started with this brush, but then I felt like I wasn't getting a lot of, it wasn't diffusing as well as I had wanted. So I changed to my BH Cosmetics brush. I really love this brush for sort of diffusing and blowing out the eyeshadow. So just using that brush to sort of, blend that into the first shade that we put down. And this is sort of like this nice sort of cat eye, like I'm taking it out on my outer corners, making sure that I get that sort of winged out effect as well. And then taking the same first brush that we used and just melting everything together and making sure that there are no harsh lines or harsh edges anywhere. Then going in with this shadow, and I'm just using my finger because I feel like this is like the best way to place such shadows. You can absolutely wet a brush and, apply that on your eyelids, and I think that would just create a little bit more of intensity, but I think the finger works really well as well. And I did go in like 3 or 4 times to get that intensity and the color payoff that I was looking for. It's a really beautiful glittery sort of a shadow, but the glitters are not harsh or anything like that, so they're really easy to work with. And then I decided to deepen the first, so the darker shadow in the outer corner, and also blend that up into my crease. Just again, avoiding any harsh edges and just making sure that it's all blended and looking beautiful. Just cleaning up any fallout that we may have had with a makeup removal wipe. And then going in with my Flower Beauty primer. This is like the hydrating one, so just using my fingers to apply that all over my face. And then following that, I am just going to be taking my foundation, and I have all the shade names listed down below, so please be sure to check the description box out. Currently, I'm using my L'Oreal Stay Fresh foundation for this video. But I do have all the foundation shades listed in the description box, so please be sure to check that out. Just using a brush to blend that into my skin. Lately I've just been preferring a brush a little bit more than a sponge. I just feel like I get better coverage, and I think my skin also adheres to the foundation a little bit better than in the past. I don't know why. I think something like the texture of my skin has changed or something like that. I'm not sure, but I really love the brush application of late. So just using the BH Cosmetics brush again, making sure to, take it up to my ears and also a little bit below my chin. And then using the L'Oreal full cover concealer, I think. This is the first time I use this concealer, and oh my god, I love it so much. I start out by blending it. I start blending it out with a brush in the beginning, and then I'll also pinch the brush and just make sure that I have a nice crisp edge towards the outer corner. Again, making sure that it's that cat eye effect that we're after. And then I will just go back in with the warmth of my finger to sort of melt that in a little bit more. And again, this is my preferred technique of late. I just feel like it sits a little bit better underneath my eyes because I do have some deep set creases, and I prefer like this. I feel like this one does really sort of cling it to it better. But this concealer was amazing, and it lasted throughout the day so well, and it just kind of blurred out my under eyes, which I really, really loved. I just added a little bit more coverage in my inner corners, and it did not budge for the rest of the day. So really, really happy with that, and cannot wait to try it out a little bit more. And then for powder, I used the Maybelline Fit Me powder. I forgot to show the packaging, but it's the loose powder, and I'm actually using that to bake today. So just taking one of those old school triangles, the sponge triangles, and baking underneath my eyes as well as my forehead. So any high points, like your center of the forehead, bridge of the nose, a little bit around my cupid's bow, and a little bit on my chin area. So all the places that I would like light to hit. And then just using a brush to sort of powder the rest of my face. And I don't bake for too long. I just use a brush to sort of, just blend everything out, and then just take away the bake as soon as I'm done powdering the rest of my face. So following that, I will be going in with the bronzer. So for today, I'm using the Tarte. Again, I'll leave the shade name down below because I cannot remember what it is. But just, bronzing up the usual places. So basically in the 3&E method, and just building up that bronzer shade as well. Just a little bit above my, like the dent in my cheeks, I guess. What are they called? Like, where you would normally contour. Just a little bit above that. Making sure to take it up on my temples, around my forehead. Do have a really big forehead, so you want to make sure that it's kind of nice and bronzed up. And then I'm also going to be trying out bronzing my nose. So this is more of like a nose contour of sorts. I just took the e.l.f. blending brush and applied that, concentrated that on the bridge of my nose, or like, you know what I mean, like you can see it. And then I'm also just taking it around my in the beginning of my brow, so just to kind of give it that snatched effect, and then just blending it on the sides, and then I just went in with the sponge that I used earlier for baking, and I'm just sort of diffusing that out, making sure that it's not very harsh and it's a soft contour. And then for blush, I'm just mixing the first two shades, and just using my e.l.f. blush brush, e.l.f. duo fiber brush. And then just applying that on the apples of my cheeks. This is like a really nice rosy pink color that came out of the two. And then following this, I'm just using the Fenty Hustla Baby highlighter. I love this highlighter. Oh my god. I was shining to the gods at the end of this day. It's such a beautiful highlighter, and just again highlighting the top parts where you would want light to hit. Cheekbones, bridge of my nose, tip of my nose, and cupid's bow, as well as a little bit on my chin. And I also like to do around my temples because I have a big forehead, and I actually like highlighting that feature. So just doing that. And then finishing up with the eyes, I'm just taking that deeper red shade and just applying that on my lower lash line. And I'm connecting it with the top shadow, so just making it more sort of elongated. And it looked really, really pretty, and the eyes were just kind of like snatched effect again, with a high ponytail. It just looks beautiful. And then I went in with this purpley sort of a shadow just to highlight in the inner third of my lower lash line. I just felt like that gave a nice sort of pop of color, and it's sort of tied with the top shadow as well. You could use the same shadow, but I just felt like I wanted to incorporate something a little bit different. And then I went in with this sort of a champagne color to highlight the inner corners. You can again use like the highlighter that we used, but I just wanted to try as many shadows as I could from this palette. And for eyeliners, going in with these two eyeliners, I'll leave them down below, so please be sure to check that out. I did my eyeliners and mascara off camera, and then going in with my By Beauty lipstick. This is Candid Guava. This is like a metallic sort of a shade, and it tied in the look really, really well. So I hope you enjoyed watching, and let's cut to the outro. Alright guys, I wanted to come back and sort of summarize what I think about this palette. I went in with my, as you saw, I went in with my soft ochre paint pot, and I then went directly into this palette with the morning shadow. It is very, very pigmented, and you do have to work on blending the shadows, but they're not very hard to blend. They're extremely easy to work with. And I think the price at which this is, I think you do get a value or a bang for your buck. I think these are fantastic, and I'm so happy that I finally tried a Natasha Denona palette. This is one of my first ones, and this is one of those ones that I just, you know, the color story like spoke to me, and I thought it was worth that investment. So I'm really happy that I did it, and I cannot wait to create more looks with this palette. I think it's amazing, the pigmentation, the quality, the overall finish of the shadows as well on the eyelids. I think they look fabulous. I do have just a tiny bit of dryness around my eyes still on my eyelids, but I think this is one of those palettes that hasn't emphasized as much. And for that, even with the awakening shadows that's on my lids, like it's not emphasized as much. So really, really love it. I am absolutely thrilled and floored by this palette, and I do highly recommend it. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Please don't forget to give it a like and subscribe as well, and you know, don't forget to share with your friends as well. Take care guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.